few days later, I opened my eyes slowly. The sun was shining quite strong and hit my face. I turned my face to the bedside table to turn off the alarm while I was looking at the time. Still early in the morning. Should I go back to sleep? I thought and started to wonder. I put down my feet on the ground and took a few minutes to wake myself up. My body was telling me that I still felt tired, almost like I wanted to go back to sleep. As much as I wanted to, I knew I had a bunch of things to do today, but I will see if I will have time to get some rest later today. I went in the bathroom, closing the door behind me, looking myself in the mirror. Fucking hell, I almost looked like a witch, I said to myself, and laughing. I opened up the tap, washing my face. After a few minutes, I started to shower. Dang, it felt so nice to take a shower. Felt the warm water running down my body. I felt more awake and ready for the day. A few minutes later, came out of the shower, dried myself, put on some cream, and got out of the bath. And goes in the bedroom and just leave the door open, just in case someone calls me. I go to my closet and started to find my clothes I intend to wear. Usually I had it ready before everything else, but not today. As I'm trying to look for my clothes to try to figure out what I should wear, I heard someone knocking my door. What? So early in the day, who could it be? I thought, as I was putting on my sweatpants. The person knocks again when I was dressing really fast. I rushed downstairs towards the hallway before I opened the door. I wait for a few minutes to catch my breath. I open the door and see that it's Paige. Started wondering why is she knocking on my door when she has the key. But I didn't say anything and just moved myself to let her enter. Somehow she's still standing and not entering. Come in then. We have visitor. Of who? I'm looking at Paige. She's trying to tell me something. Doesn't fully understand her, but it's a step thing something. I'm taking a few steps forward to see who she's talking about. Seeing several black cars that almost look like family cars. I cannot clearly see who was in the car because of the distance. Jayleen, your uncle is here with his family and your mom. For what? And how did they know where I'm living? Have you ever thought of my daughter? Have you ever thought of that? I said while I was raising my voice. Got mad at her, of course, but at the same time, I was mad at the whole situation. Thank God, though, my daughter is still in her room, and she's not gonna hear what's going on unless she's going out. But I'm still wondering why they're coming to me right now. And what is even weirder is that how did they know where I were? Because I'm pretty sure things would have turned if they knew where I'm actually living. I was just looking at Paige, trying to figure out a solution, because I did actually want them to come to my place no matter what. You know what? I have an idea. Wait here, I said, and went downstairs to the reading room. I'm shouting at her. She turns around, looks at me, gets up and comes towards me. What? Nothing special. It was just seeing how it goes. Kindly, she said and just walked by. She went back to her seat and sat down. Felt really relieved and happy. Seems like she doesn't have any idea on what's going on at the moment. I go upstairs to the living room and forward up the hallway, open up the front door, goes out while I'm pulling Paige's arms. Paige looks at me as if she's completely confused but doesn't say anything. I release her arm and watch my uncle get out of the car. He also looks at me and smiles. A few minutes later, he opened up the car door, take out his hands. Someone comes out and holding my uncle's hand while she's picking up her long summer dress. I have seen her before, so they didn't know who she were. Beginning to wondering, of course, who that might be and who, or at least who are we talking about. But would not be completely surprised if she's my family member. Eventually I saw the kid coming out at the same time. It must be his kid. They look so much older than the last time I met them, despite the fact that it had been 7 years back then. A little bit difficult to recognize them, but at the same time not that difficult to understand. It was his kid. I knew I could not let them enter the house, but at the same time we not could stand there for hours without doing anything, so I had to come out with something, a plan or something. I was looking at the time, thank God it's still early, but then I realized, shit, I have some few meetings in the office in a few hours, so I could have used that to save myself. I went to my uncle, that also came towards me. He smiled at me and tried to give me a hug, but I withdrew. Jayleen, before he could say anything else, I interrupted him. What are you doing here? I said it in the right, strong and clear voice, but I was looking at the lady standing next to him. Didn't even want to look at him. Is it any quiet place we can talk? The lady asked. Talk about what? Have nothing to talk about, I said, and looked away from the lady. I just looked around, just for avoid eye contact with my uncle or the lady. Suddenly, I heard someone going really fast behind me. Turned to see who it might be. See Paige coming towards me quick with some aid, putting her arms around my shoulder while she's holding me with her other hand. I think she realized that I'm not completely myself. She's looking at me and raising her eyebrow, but she's smiling fake. Yeah, surely we can do that, said Paige. She took her arm down from my shoulder and showed them the way. She just led the way into the house. As soon as I noticed she was on her way into the house, I stopped her, held her arm so hard while I stopped her. What do you think you're doing? I whispered. What do you think you're doing? Do you want them to go around so they can see everything? I didn't answer back, knowing that she was not lying either. No, exactly. By the way, this shit hurts, said Paige and looked down my arm. I let it go and just let her pass. I really hope she knows what she's doing, I thought as I let my uncle's family and my mom enter. We went a few stairs and up to the living room. My maid asked what they wanted to drink. While they were doing that or taking care of it, I went up into the fourth floor, walked in the bathroom, closed the door. I feel I'm not calm at all. I'm really confused and have a mixed feeling that I don't even know how to describe. It almost feels like I cannot breathe, almost like something is stuck in my throat, or almost like I'm having a panic attack. I'm trying to calm myself down while focusing on my breathing. After a few minutes later, I walk out of the bathroom, downstairs, showing that it doesn't help to unload myself, and that it was a few questions I'm wondering as well. As I walked downstairs, I saw Paige come towards me and stopping me. You good? She asked and touched my arm. Where do you think you're going? Just wanted to check if you're doing well. Decided to wondering where you got off. I didn't answer back. We just went to the living room and sat down. I laid my back against the sofa, crossing my leg, and breathed deeply. While Paige was looking at the lady, which I still don't know who we were, but somehow I noticed the chemistry between them, as if they know each other or have known each other. Jayleen, we have been told that you are engaged to Leon. Paige both looked shocked and surprised at the same time. She pushed my foot to make me look up. Haven't told her. Well, obviously, that's because I haven't told anyone. Now it makes sense why they are here. Despite the fact that this family is not in good condition, we still have tradition and etc. that the most people follow. But Leon said that he have tried to get a hold of you ever since you guys were at David's place. We have not heard from you. Therefore we came back, said the lady. Well, now you have seen. Now if it was not anything else, I have things to do, I said and leaned forward, but noticing that Paige was holding me back. This is not how we treat guests. But it would be also nice if you could have called before you arrived, Paige said, and looked at the lady. The lady took a quick look at Paige and turned her face to my mom. I'm your mom. I'll come anytime, and you know that really well, she yelled at me and looked at me. Even though she's my mom, she had absolutely no right to talk to me like that after many years without no contact. I felt that I had to do something, even answering back with something, but could not do anything, because if I had to done something, it would escalate completely, and I don't have no energy for it, especially when my daughter is here at home. So I just ignored it, got up, as Paige said, inform us about it, and I will call you later, alright? I said. I didn't even look directly at them while I said it, since I'm not in good shape. Everyone got up, went up the stairs. It looks like they're waiting for either me or Paige. Paige looks at me as she bowed her hair. Walking past them and showed the way out. We came to the hallway. Suddenly, we can hear one of the doors by the front door open. We can hear the creaking sounds that the door is making. I begin to breathe faster and look at Paige. She's trying to distract them while I'm going in the room to see who it was or what kind of sounds it is. I goes in and see that it's Paige's brother who's rushing the clothes or something like that. At least I can hear the washing machine is up and running. Paige is looking at me, but I didn't say anything, just let her brother go out. It looks like she understood what I meant or was trying to show her. She opened the front door while my mom and them walked out. As we were walking towards the car, the lady stopped, turns around and looked at me. Don't you really remember me? She asked and looked at me. How am I supposed to? Have you seen each other before? I said, and quick look at her. Had admit it was something familiar about her. I don't know what it is. I might certainly have seen her before, although it's not a guarantee. And then it must be 7 years back. The thing is that she looked different then, so it's quite hard to recognize her. Well, here is my number. Just call at any time, even if it's just for a chat, she said, and while taking out sheets of paper, pretty and rolled down her number and gave it to me while she was smiling. I accepted, gave her a hug, and held her arm while I was looking into her eye. Strange, I must say, but it was kind of like, I don't know, a connection between us, as we are really good friends or best friend or siblings or something like that. Really, really strange. But I will find out by everything. I don't need to worry myself a lot. She turned her back and just walked on. They went into the car and waved to us. Paige went back while I was just standing and watched them. The car closed, the gates opened, and it drives on. Paige and I walked into the house. She closed the door while I just moved on. Jayleen, wait a minute. Just hold on, says Jayleen. I stopped, turned around, crossed my arms to each other, and just looked at her. She came towards me and looked at me. Before she could do anything, we heard someone coming downstairs. We looked up to see who it was, and then it was my daughter, who just walked quick down the stairs. She stopped, looked at me, and out of nowhere, holding my arms. I lowered my arms so that she can hold my hands, and just look at her. Who came to the visit? She asked and looked at me. I looked at her too, but didn't say anything. She looked at Paige, hoping that Paige could answer. Just my parents. Who were you hoping? Paige asked and just smiled. I don't know, grandmother or someone from my mom's family, she said, as she was looking at me. She seemed quite disappointed, even though it was not so clearly it was easy to understand. I didn't know what to say except for one day. One day, hopefully. I said to end the topic. Was already in a bad shape from before and considered that they were just here in a few seconds ago. Mom, by the way, I heard that, of course, I don't know if it's true or not, but is it true that what it's saying about you and Leo? I was looking at Paige, but didn't say anything. I felt sweat on my forehead. My hands were really sweaty. I became nervous. What are they saying? I took the hair away from her face and put it backward while I was looking at her. Well, I don't know, Mom, but because tomorrow we're gonna have a new director, and ever since my job found out about it, I get a full attention every time. Well, until I say something else, don't hear what they're saying. I said, okay, well, I will drop by my work later today. Are you coming? I shall see, I said as I went up. The same did her and Paige. I walked to my bedroom without closing the door, took off my coat and changed the clothes into a little bit more work clothes. I started to pack my baggage with what I needed. What I was doing, and my maid comes into the room. I noticed she's looking at me, and I'm turning around to look at her. Ma'am, should I ask them to take the car now or wait a bit? Yes, thank you. I turned around again to pack forward. After a short while later, I went out of the bedroom, locking the door, and went downstairs to my office to get the latest report, which I must not forget. As I was holding it, I heard someone knocking on the door. Since my office was not too far from the front door, I put down the paper I had in my hand, walked towards the door, and opened it. Who is knocking at the door? Stay tuned for chapter 4.